I am having a little bit of a crisis. Um, Over the past month, from June 20th to July 20th, that is today, I've been doing rather intensive shadow work that has been very painful and very grueling, and I want it to stop, but I'm not done with it yet, so I guess I will continue on my journey. I was thinking about something. I saw this really interesting video this woman made talking about narcissism as a demonic presence in a family system. And, oh, okay, first, before I go into anything dark and deep and philosophical, I want to introduce you guys to my friend. This is my friend Calcis. He's a little shy. You see him peeking? He's peeking over his blanket. He is an agate that sometimes will cuddle with me in my bed, and I can talk to him about all sorts of stuff, and he's a great listener. Look at him, he's smiling. He's a great listener. He's a great friend. If you can ever get yourself a crystal entity friend, let me tell you, that's the best kind of friend you could ever have, because they're steady like a rock. I'm sorry, Calcis, I had to make the joke. All right, so right now I'm in the blue room, and my hair is blue, and my hands are blue from dyeing my hair blue, and I'm talking about God. All right, so I saw this YouTube lady, and she was talking about how narcissism is from like a hereditary demon. And I'm like, okay, so I'm an anime fan. I love me some Yu Yu Hakusho. We just finished watching Solo Leveling. That show was freaking awesome. Did I have lipstick on my teeth? Oh my god, focus. Focus. Okay. What are we talking about? Oh yes, my crisis. Thank you, Calcis. So she was basically saying that narcissism is a demon. I think I said that 3 times. Narcissism is a demon that gets handed down generation to generation. When she said that, I like me some anime. I like me, and I'm like, oh, demons, huh? Do we need like a demon slayer to get rid of? I don't mean to be a bitch, but actually, no, I do. I am a bitch. It's a self-defense mechanism. I'm getting better at it. I'm learning how to curb it. God damn, look at this. My hair's white. I got these 2 like white stripes on the side of my head that are growing out. And I kind of don't want to dye my hair blue because I think it might be kind of badass and make me look like Ra's al Ghul, but not with a penis. Why did I say penis? Okay. Anyway, demons. Narcissism is a demon. I wonder if ADHD is one as well. At first I was skeptical because it sounded like an anime and it sounded kind of crazy, and I was like, what? Come on. Should I get sting? Does the blade glow blue whenever narcissist demons are around? There are some people online in the narcissistic healing community that are just a little off the rocker. They're just a little too much. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys, they take it to another level. To another freaking level. And I was skeptical because I was like, oh my God, this is more of this crap, But then I thought about it and I was like, okay, what do I know about demons? I've read a little bit of demonology. Ugh, let me get my cuddly cuddles. It's nice to get cuddly. So, I've studied a little bit of demonology, not enough to call myself a demonologist, not even enough to call myself a dabbler. I think I might have read the spark notes of one book once and then got bored halfway through and started scrolling through and watching cat videos. But from what I understand, that there are different kinds of demons. We don't really know what demons are. We don't know what angels are. We don't know what fairies. We know that there are entities that exist outside of the physical world that do stuff. My deep insight. They exist and they work in certain types of frequencies, and those frequencies can be harmful. A lot of demons seem to be vampiric in nature. They need to feed off of something emitted by a living conscious being like a human, and so they come to us and they start feeding off our shit. But there's a type of demon called a servitor, which is a demon that you create for a reason. It's like a servant demon that you build. And it just sounds like an anime or a video game, I swear. And when a group of people come together and all agree on something, you can create an egregore, which is like a servitor, but created by multiple people instead of just one. So let's say I needed a servitor. I was thinking of making a servitor. After reading this, I was like, I need a servitor to stop me from eating too much, because I like food and I don't care about being fat. And sometimes there you come to a place where in your mind you're like, you know what, maybe being a fat person isn't a bad thing because I'm comfy and I'm eating whatever I want. However, there are other things that come with that, like bone pain, knee pain, back pain, hip pain, joint pain, and also metabolism pain. I will say this, whenever I'm fat, my skin is the most clear. I get pimples when I'm skinny. But other than that, there's really no benefit to being fat physically. If we're talking about health and everything like that, it's not good. I've been there. I went to Paris when I was in Paris on our vacation. I was 173 pounds. For a girl who's 5'1", that is ridiculous. And yeah, I hurt. It hurt. Everything hurt. My back hurt. My knees hurt. Everything hurt. And I was like, why does everything hurt? And everybody kept telling me, oh, it's because you're old. It wasn't because I was old. It was because I was fat. Because when I got on keto and I lost the weight, I felt better. So I was thinking of making myself a servitor to be my personal instructor and stop me from getting fat. So every time I want to go to the drive-thru, because I have a thing, I have a weakness. I love going through the drive-thru. I love it. I love it because it makes me feel powerful. When I was a kid, I always loved Happy Meals, and I wanted to have like a Happy Meal for every meal and get a toy for every meal. I loved Happy Meals, and you can't have a Happy Meal for every. So I told myself, when I grow up, I'm gonna have a Happy Meal for every freaking meal I have. It's my inner child's acting wacky right now. I'm gonna have a Happy Meal. I'm gonna do that, and yeah, don't do that. When you grow up, don't eat a Happy Meal for every freaking meal. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. It might feel good. It might feel empowering. Haha, look at me. I got the thing. But then afterward, when like your lower back is twinged because you stood up from a chair, you have to stop and say, okay, maybe I need to not. Maybe I need to not. So what if narcissism demons, like this lady said, were actually servitors created by years and years of validation from generation to generation? So like, it actually makes sense once you think about it. If like my ancestor was a narcissist, which I can almost pretty much guarantee, I'm Puerto Rican, which means that I'm Black, Spaniard, and Taino, hence my tattoo. The Spanish came and they colonized Puerto Rico. They took slaves. Sunny Hostin would know about that. And sorry, throwing shade. I never liked her. She's just bitchy. Um, yeah. So if generation upon generation, all right, so we have a narcissist Spaniard who overtakes these little island folk. But there's a cute island chick there that he's going to make her his little bitch, and she's going to cook his meals and clean his socks and be his little permanent servant. And then she's going to bear his children, but she's always going to remember that she's beneath him because he's a Spaniard and she's Taino or black and she's less than. And then the kids, when they grow up, they're going to always want to measure up to their dad, but they're never going to be able to measure up to him because he's a Spaniard and they're half breeds. They're not even pure Spanish. They're only half Spanish. They got the dirty Tainos in them. They got the dirty Africans in them. And so they feel less than. And what happens to a kid when they feel lesser, when their sense of self is diminished? They become a narcissist, or they become codependent, or they end up CPTSD. There's a whole bunch of other options, but a lot of times they could become a narcissist. And if there was an egregore existing in a bloodline that just went from child to child to child, I could see them sticking their nasty ass cordy tentacles in all those kids' chakras, slowing down the spinning of those chakras to the point where there's very little energy generation in their auric field. And so that person then becomes a vampiric type of creature, otherwise known as a narcissist. A narcissist doesn't feel like they're alive unless they have supply from other people. If a narcissist were to be the last person on the planet Earth, they would not thrive. They need adoration. They need that supply. They need that control. And so does the demon that drives them. So I saw a lot of nature videos. And I love nature videos. And I saw this one where like a bee can be infected with a parasite that takes over their brain and makes them kill the queen or something like crazy like that. Like parasites have all these weird mind control abilities in nature. There are ones that like they'll latch on to a creature's to a bug's like nervous system, and then moving forward that person that bug is just like an RC person. What if that's what it's like for narcissists? What if they're not the actual driver for their behavior? What if there is in the spirit world some kind of nasty parasitical monster that was birthed out of an ancestor that decided, you, little baby, are going to be my next host. You're going to grow up to be a narcissist. You're going to hurt other people. I'm going to feed off of the hurt. And then when you die alone, I'll just move on to your child and your child's child and your child's child until finally that nasty egregore becomes a big scary demon and your family is just its slaves. Bro. Somebody needs to make that into an anime. Somebody needs to make that into a video game, an RPG, or an anime.